So hi all out there. Um, Today we're going to start the podcast, and our topic today is talking about virtual healthcare and its role in the world, and how we're going to rebuild and sustain medical practices during the difficult times. My name is Aaron, and I work at Cortico, and I'm here with Ashley. We've actually both worked in clinics before, and now we're involved in virtual patient engagement. Give us your professional background. How do you end up here?
My professional I've been in healthcare for the last 8 years. I started off as recruiting doctors, marketing for medical clinics, and and then I ended up becoming an operations manager for a medical clinic for some time, and then down the road, I ended up opening up my own medical clinic with a business partner of mine who's a medical director. And so we kind of wanted to shake up the system and make it more integrated. We wanted to create a platform where it was like a one-stop shop for patients. So yeah, been doing that for the last little while. And then COVID happened.
Today, actually, we're going to be talking about how to sustain and to possibly rebuild our practices during the difficult times, including COVID and maybe other times that'll come up in the future. So
when we had the lockdown, I had all of the physicians back in the clinic, all 8 of them. And yes, they were all working virtually. I had my MOAs that were, in office. They were the only ones working in the office. And everybody was working from home. And I mean, everyone was still seeing their numbers because, again, when you build a clinic up, it has to be reputable. You have to provide quality customer service. You got to really, really, really push for those Google reviews. Cause my clinic was integrated. So if I'm a patient, I want to go see a doctor and it's a weekend and it's summer and I can't get in anywhere, walk-in clinic in Coquitlam, you want your clinic to be the first clinic to pop up. And the only way that first clinic is going to pop up is your reviews. You have to have a 5-star clinic to run a successful practice.
Exactly. And especially the new patients, right? Because there's one thing to be said about the patients that you have existing that are going to book appointments and everything like that. But the revenue from the new patients is going to be the really big difference.
100%.
Especially when you have doctors who are saying, we want more patients. We want to be busy, and exactly. It's just difficult for the patients to connect with them.
Exactly. So my thing is, I don't just, this is going to sound kind of funny, but I don't hire MOAs or certificates. I end up hiring people that work in the service industry, like waitresses, waiters, bartenders. I hired them. Why? Because they provide quality customer service, but it's all about just organically being pleasant and having that quality customer service. And I train them very, very well. And the thing is, when a patient leaves happy, that's when I kind of go hey, if you had such a great service, do you mind leaving a Google review for us? And they would leave Google reviews, and they left phenomenal reviews. And again, before I joined the clinic, it was, I think, 2.3 stars. And within 3 to 4 months, and it took that long, but it ended up actually becoming a 5-star clinic. So I had every doctor seeing their desired numbers, even during the difficult times, even during summer, which is the slowest time for walk-in doctors and family doctors because they don't see their numbers, right? It's summer, everyone's vacationing. But bringing in virtual health into a clinic during these difficult times, during COVID and summer when it's slow, it helps because I can be off in Penticton on my canoe and I have a rash and I want to see my doctor. How do you do it? Go on your smartphone, book your appointment, and you see your doctor. So it's literally, it's benefiting patients, it's benefiting doctors, it's benefiting growth within the clinic.
Mm-hmm. And I think virtual health just expands the number of people, expands your circle, right?
Allows you know what I feel, Aaron? I feel like a lot of doctors are not a lot of doctors are not familiar with the pay module when it comes to virtual health. They think that they're not getting paid enough, but little do they know is that they're actually getting paid a little more than actually like patients going to the clinic. Like you're actually, yeah, 100%. Like you're actually getting paid the same. I mean, back in the day, no, right? It was half the visit, but now it's like, it's difficult for, patients to go to clinics because of, what's happening right now. But doctors are actually getting paid a little more now because, if they have a cough and cold, and they suspect COVID and it's coming back as COVID, you can bill more. So I just feel like the reason why I want to talk about this right now is because I feel like a lot of doctors need to be in the loop of the payment module in BC or all over Canada when it comes down to virtual health. Because like back in the day, like, a patient, broke his leg, he can't come to the clinic for a follow-up. So they call their doc. Yeah, it was like half of the visit of an office visit, but now it's pretty much the same.
Wow. Making touch on the Ontario billing code as well, or the pay module rather?
So once upon a time, I did have a few doctors that were coming from Ontario to BC. And I was like, what's going on? Why is everyone coming here from Ontario? And then I noticed there was a lot of my colleagues from different clinics they were asking me, like, if you have a doctor that's looking for more work, please send them to my clinic. I was like, what's wrong? I'm like, why are doctors leaving your clinic? And they're like, no, they're going to the East Coast. So it boiled down to the pay module for, healthcare. It changes rapidly. Like, I don't know when it changes, but it does change rapidly because it could be a pregnancy test could be more than $4, which is like $4 in BC. I don't know how much it is now, but like it could be $4 in BC and it could be, I don't know, $20 in the East Coast. So like that's what's changing rapidly, right? And instead of doctors moving back and forth, virtual health, like it honestly works. It works and it's so powerful because you could be sitting in Vancouver, okay? You could be on a bench at the seawall, seeing your patients and billing Ontario. You could be seeing your patients in Ontario virtually and billing that. So instead of coming and going, you have that opportunity to, bill, but like stay comfortable and stay happy, where you're living instead of going back and forth. So yeah.
Wow. And how do these Ontario doctors find your clinic? Because like your clinic's in BC, right? Is it in Surrey?
No, Coquitlam.
Where you came from Coquitlam, BC, which is like kind of the lower mainland. So
yeah.
How did the Ontario clinicians, probably from Toronto, right? Or Ottawa? Yeah. And how do they find you in particular?
Google. Coquitlam is a very diverse place in Vancouver. I live out here. I love it here. How do they find me? Google. I've asked. 3 of my practitioners, one was from Saskatchewan, one was from Perth, Australia, and the other one was from Ohio. And, when they, emailed me, again, like I always ask, like, how'd you find us? Google. They Google clinics in Coquitlam, and boom, because of those reviews, my clinic was the first one to pop up.
Wow.
And that's where they want to work, because like no doctor wants to work at a 0.5 star clinic. Like they want to work at a clinic that's reputable, because that's not only going to make the clinic busy, but it's also going to help them grow their practice. So
it's interesting that you bring that up, because we conducted some internal study, and we found that the new patients, when they're looking for clinics, they go for clinics with higher Google reviews. But I think clinicians especially, like, they want to see high Google reviews and a high volume of high Google reviews. They want to know that there's good patients, or rather there's good staff and good service. it's going to affect them directly because that's their workplace.
You know, when I started in healthcare, I used to work for this one company, and I was marketing and recruiting doctors for them. And I remember, like, they opened up a bunch of clinics, and the one clinic that was struggling was a clinic that they opened in, you know, the Lower Mainland, which is not busy at all. I mean, there's no traffic, there's no transit. I mean, it was in the middle of nowhere, but the thing is, it was beside a shopping mall, which, you know, made it, you know, kind of busy, but it was only one doctor working there. And I remember I was like, you know what, how can I get this clinic going? I mean, the patients were awesome. They were nice. The numbers that we were seeing, like, they were quality customer service. But I was like, you know what, how do we bring in more practitioners? Like, how do we get this clinic going? And organically, people were actually leaving reviews. And then I was like, okay, I can kind of see the numbers slowly going up. And then I kind of pushed it more. So everyone that was leaving, please leave a review. And within 6 months, Aaron, we went from one doctor to 5 doctors working full time. And why? Because every patient that was leaving that had quality customer service, had a good visit, they were leaving Google reviews because we were pushing that. And those doctors that found us. I never recruited anybody. They found us, they hit me up. They're like, hey, do you have any walk-in hours? Like, can I come and work? And I was like, you know what? Wow. And I was like, how is this all happening? And I remember sitting down with this one female doctor, and she goes, this is like quite the establishment. And I was like, really? I'm like, how did you find us? Like, you called us. And she's just like, oh, I just went Coquitlam walk-in doctors or Coquitlam walk-in clinic. And yeah, she's like, your clinic was the first one to pop up. And then I remember the owners were like, how is this clinic that has zero traffic busier and more successful than the clinic that is in the city, that has a SkyTrain station, that has a hospital 2 seconds away, it's like, anyways, when it comes down to healthcare, at the end of the day, somebody's coming to your clinic because they need help. And when someone needs help, it is your duty as a human in healthcare to provide for that. And putting a smile on one patient's face after, leaving the clinic, it grows on you to keep doing the same thing. Because at the end of the day, people are going through a lot of stuff right now. And I feel like if you provide quality customer service, it's going to not just make your clinic successful, but it makes your community happy. And that's what drives more doctors, more new patients to your clinic to keep coming back. So, and I mean, it's not even about the money. It's not even about that. It's just about putting that smile on someone's face at the end of the day, and giving them reassurance that everything's going to be okay. That's what it boils down to. And I feel like that's what everybody needs right now, is reassurance.
Yes. We'll talk about next.
Convenience.
I guess so, because the convenience would allow you to, we're talking about reaching a wider audience. I guess it allows you to reach patients who aren't able to reach you for some other reason. Like, maybe it's difficult to get to clinics sometimes. You have to take time out of your schedule, right?
Exactly. At the end of the day, if someone's vacationing, if someone's grandma is ill and she can't get out of the house, or grandpa, they can't get out of the house, and it's just, virtual health is not just a convenience tool for patients or for healthcare.
It's not a convenience tool only, exclusively. It's also, for some patients, it's the way they can get the best quality of care that they can.
Exactly. The thing is, for example, my grandma, who had dementia, diabetes, really bad diabetes. And there's days that she can't get out of the house. Like, there's days that she couldn't leave the house. And, what do we do? Like, and for example, her doctor is, on either vacationing or he's somewhere else. And she really needs to see a doctor, and walk-in doctors won't see her because, because of her chronic illnesses and whatnot. What do you do? Like, what do you do? That's where virtual health is not just a convenience tool, but it's actually the best thing that was ever invented. And that's where virtual health is not just a convenience tool, but it's literally a very important component in today's life, where my grandma can easily get her prescription virtually. And of course, like, I have to go and, get it. Or, now it can be delivered, but what I'm saying is, virtual health is not just a convenience tool. It's literally here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And it's going to help so many people that find it difficult going to the clinic physically. And during these difficult times when clinics are either closing, shutting down early, doctors see their cap and they head home. It's here to stay, and it's not going anywhere. And I'm so privileged and so happy that I am working with a virtual healthcare company that engages and helps patients like this. And we help build practices up again during these difficult times. So yeah, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere.
So once this is all over, do you think virtual health and Google reviews will be a big thing going forward?
100%. I feel like a lot of clinics are, they're getting back on their feet again. And just not clinics, businesses everywhere. They're just, slowly getting back on their feet again, after closing their practices and reopening their practices. I think that providing quality healthcare to your community, those Google reviews will be coming organically. And once those start coming in organically, you're going to have practitioners that are going to want to work for you. Not just practitioners, everybody's going to want to work for you. I've done it. I've been there, I've done that, and I grew a successful practice. And when you do that, it makes you feel good. And bringing in virtual health and, those qualities and virtual health, having that available for your patients is phenomenal, because at the end of the day, everyone's happy. Everyone gets what they need to feel better. And that's what healthcare is, right? You're here to not fix people, but to hear them out and make them feel good and live a healthy, balanced lifestyle. That's it.
To conclude, it sounds like virtual health is going to be a big part, an online presence is going to be a big part of your business going forward.
Yeah.
And getting your Google reviews to improve them, connecting with patients, is also going to be helping to serve more patients in the future. So Ashley, anything else you want to say or reiterate possibly?
I really hope that every clinic that is reopening, during these times, I hope they do consider virtual health, because it's such a key component to our time right now. And I wish everyone can reopen and be successful at the end of the day, and provide that quality customer service and healthcare.
And it's great to have you on the team where we're all working toward that goal. This is Arun and Ashley from Cortico Health Technologies.
Bye for now.
Thank you.